Hello, and today I'm going to be talking about the many different helmet props that were used in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Up until recently, in fact this week, I assumed, and I think many of us as well, assumed that in the Last Crusade there was only one prop made for the German soldiers in the infamous book burning scene, and of course all the other henchmen of that era. But it turns out there were at least three. Now, the reason I say at least three is because, let's be honest, there were hundreds and hundreds of actors, and they got hundreds of uniforms together. So there were probably quite a few different types made. But the one we see here, the one in front of us, is a genuine one from The Last Crusade. And this is the most common helmet that you see worldwide in the hands of fans. Now, on a real historical German helmet, this little bolt here is an air vent. But what it's serving on the prop is it's holding this very basic leather strap in place. These bolts here are just molded, but in the real world, they're actually holding the leather liner to the helmet in. Here we have a genuine World War II German helmet. There's the air vent there, which on the prop is a bolt which is holding the leather strap on. And the big rivets here, which are present because they're molded in the original helmets, are present in the Last Crusade props, as you can see there. But in the real world, those rivets are holding in the leather liner. In the case of the Last Crusade, there is no leather liner. To hold this helmet on your head is a series of sponge. So this is what I'm going to call type 1 because it's the most common one that most people have in their collections. And as far as I knew, this was the only type they had. This was the only type that was built for the film, but clearly not. What's brilliant about this helmet is you can see it's got traces of the original apple green that it was in the 1989 production. So that's very cool. So here we have type 2, which is owned by somebody on Facebook who is looking to sell it at the moment. And one of the glaring errors we can see is that big silver bolt should really be there if this was historically correct. But it's not historically correct. But that big silver bolt is holding in the leather strap. Unlike the prop we've just noticed, this area here is where they have the bolt holding the leather strap in, but on this version it's the impression of the air vent. See, it's just a weak impression and they filled the hole in there. So I'm going to call that helmet type 2, a rare one, but I have spotted it in the film. Here's a still from the book burning scene, and you can see once again that rather misplaced bolt, which is in the wrong historical position. But there it is. There's the misplaced bolt. That's type 2, we'll call it. And you can see above it, just above the eagle motif here, is the impression of the air vent. Remember the air vents on the original helmets. So that's type 2. That's the less common helmet that was used in the Last Crusade, it would appear. But then, of course, even more less common is the what the movie prop store had to offer here. So this was from the bike chase, which was filmed on the Lucasfilm Ranch. And what's very interesting about this is, I discovered, it's an M42 helmet. As the war raged on in Germany, the production of these German helmets became cheaper. So this metal ridge you can see around the outside of the helmet. To save on production, they didn't fold it under, they just left it pressed out. So this denotes it as an M42 helmet. What's very interesting about this helmet is this is clearly just the shell of a helmet that they had to cast. The Movie Prop Store of London said these were made of fiberglass. And what's really interesting about this is, yes, Lucasfilm clearly just had the shell of a helmet, because we can see there, that's where the bolts should have been, but clearly there was just an empty hole. So this was just a shell. If you take a German helmet apart, you're left with a shell. But even more interesting, the air vent. Remember the air vent was hollow? The air vent here has clearly been blocked up. And another interesting point, this indentation, this depression on the helmet is actually seen on all World War II German M42 helmets. So what they've done is they've completely cast a German M42 helmet, probably one that was lying around. Well, I don't know about lying around, but they managed to get hold of it because I think they filmed all those scenes in America at the Lucasfilm Ranch. So whatever they did, they got hold of a helmet shell, and this is a completely different helmet to this one, the most common prop, not only in design, but the year of the helmet. This helmet here is an M35 helmet made in 1935. These helmets were made in 1942. So when it comes to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, what we know so far is we have this type of helmet, this type of helmet, and this type of helmet. I call it the third type, omitting the liner bolt. Oh, well, there we go. It is just missing the liner bolt. But yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3. 3 helmets. That's what it looks like. 3 helmets used in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Being a film prop, this is made of extremely lightweight plastic. Right, that's it. Now we know so far we know there are 3 different types of German helmets used in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Look after yourself, see you later. Take care.